All right, now that we've covered vars, let's get into lets. Lets are another type of variable. Similar to how vars are mutable, we can change the value of them over their lifetime. I can create a dictionary, I can set an initial value, and I can modify its contents. Vars are mutable, whereas lets are immutable. They're unchangeable. So let's create some lets and just see, for example, how the compiler guides us in terms of using lets and working with lets. Let's say I create a new variable of type let or a let, and I initialize it to the string test value. And I then go and try to change that value. Come on, Playground. Sometimes you gotta give it a little nudge and go up to editor and say execute Playground. There we go. So in the margin, we get a little warning. We get an arrow under the equal sign. And this is saying cannot assign to let value my new string. And this is basically the compiler telling us this is a constant value. Once you initialize it, you cannot change it. So this is an illegal operation, whereas above, we could do just that. I could say my string is now equal to some new string value. And the compiler won't complain. It won't have any problem with that whatsoever because variables are just that. They're variables. They are variable. They are changeable. You can modify the value over their lifetime. Whereas lets, once you initialize them to initial value, that's the way it is forever. And there's a lot of value in this, and that value will become much more apparent when we actually begin building an iOS application. So let's get rid of this guy here, and let's create another let, but this time let's not provide it an initial value. So my other new string, running out of variable names here. Let's just call this Bob, actually. Hopefully there's someone out there named Bob taking this course. So let's say Bob is not initialized to a value, but it is of type string. And then we get super literal about it, and we assign it the value Bob, the string Bob. Actually, maybe this is confusing. So this is totally fine. We can create a let or a constant variable called myNewString and assign it a value right away, and we cannot reassign that value. But we can also initialize a let and give it a type with no value and initialize it to some value later on. This is perfectly okay. Just like in the case above, we cannot, again, assign this to a different value. And we're going to get a warning here that says immutable value Bob may only be initialized once. So we've initialized it once. We cannot initialize it again. This is also the case for arrays. Imagine you created an array. Sorry, we're doing lets here. Let my constant array is equal to, it's just an array that holds one name in it, my name. Let's say we want to append, I'm a crazy cat person. Let's say we want to append my cat's name Scrumptious to this list because I want an array with the names of myself and my cat. We're again going to get a warning here. Not even a warning, it's a straight up error saying immutable value of type array of strings only has mutating members named append. So that's a little bit that's a little bit confusing language, but it's basically saying this thing cannot be mutated. You know, you not only can you not provide an initial value to it or initialize it twice, you can't modify its contents after you initialize it. So this is like set it and forget it. You can never change it again. Similarly, we cannot set this let value to nil. that is a completely illegal operation as well. And the interesting thing about lets, I mean, same thing with vars above. They might have a nil value at the outset here, but once you initialize them, they can never be set to nil again. Similar here. There, finally we're getting a warning up here. So this also is saying you've already initialized this variable. You've already initialized this let. You cannot set it to nil. It can never be nil again once its value has been set. The difference is that var values can be changed over the course of their lifetime. They just can't be changed to nil. Whereas let values, they cannot be changed. You set them, and then the rest of their life, they are that value. So that's it for lets. Pretty straightforward. You can set up lets to be really any type that you want: dictionaries, arrays, floats, int strings, many other things. Just know that vars are mutable and lets are immutable.